It's the only one that has video games, comic books, toys, DVDs, anything else I can sell, I will sell. All right. So now that's an hour. Okay, now we're going to talk about other stuff here on the second part. You've worked with a lot of the local talent that I like a lot of them. Some of them, I've only met in passing. I'd like to think I'm friends with Aaron. Maybe really good acquaintances if we're not friends. Who's some of the people you really like to work with?
So, Erin's worked on all 3 of my feature films. I like to work with her a lot. Someone who doesn't live here anymore, but whom I liked working with, is Mary Lee Osborne. She was the lead in Primordial. The first movie I worked on her with was Babysitter Massacre, which is most likely Henrik's most known movie, just based on sales and IMDb ratings and Amazon review count, that kind of thing. So I'd say Babysitter Massacre is probably also, just in general, it's probably the most known thing I've had any involvement with as well. So that movie has a special place to me, and that is how I met Mary Lee. And I remember when I met her, I wanted to do a movie that she would star in, and I didn't quite know what it would be, so I spitballed a few ideas around, and then eventually Primordial came out of that visualization.
Yeah, I mean, I've only, I think I met Mary Lee in passing a couple of times, maybe some stuff that Henrik did. I think I met her outside the, or through, it's literally like maybe 5 minutes of time. But she always seemed really cool. She moved out west, didn't she? Yeah. So she pops up because I think I'm friends with her still on Facebook, and she'll pop up and she's like, I'm back in Dayton, hanging out, disappear again. We had Henrik on a old episode of the podcast before it went video, and this is, I don't even remember how many years ago. This was probably 3 or 4 years ago now. How's it working with Henrik? He's become, Henrik. He's I remember meeting him, through Andy when it felt like he was a child. I'm not exactly sure how old Henrik is, but it felt like, I was like, man, who's this kid? And because I want to say Andy and I are really close on age, within like maybe a year of each other. And it was, and then all of a sudden he kind of blew up, and now he's Henrik. I mean, he's got a TV show on, I don't know if you would consider a TV show, because it was 6 episodes. The Boggy Creek.
Oh yeah, because I worked on that.
Yeah. And that's cool. That's one of the coolest things I think that Henrik's ever done for me, because I was one of the kids that grew up on Boggy Creek, and I literally still have my old wore out VHS tape of Boggy Creek 1 and 2.
Oh, cool.
I found Boggy Creek 1 when you couldn't find it anywhere on DVD. I'm literally at a truck stop in Indiana, coming back from a comic book show, and I walk by and there's a copy of Boggy Creek. I'm like, oh, sweet. And now I can buy the shit one. So I literally have Boggy Creek down here, one of the later ones. It's god awful, horrible. But I own it. I also have like the Legend of Boggy Creek 3 movie box set, which has nothing to do with Boggy Creek. It's literally the Sasquatch movie, and like 2 other movies that have nothing to do with anything Boggy Creek, but I own it because I have OCD. What's funny is I think I messaged Henrik one time. I was like, I know he made it big when I buy movies for my store. When people bring in all their shit, I got like 4 Henrik movies in a lot that somebody was selling back to me. I was like, you made it big when you're getting. And then the other day I got like 2 more, but they legitimately they come into the shop and they get set aside. They've never made it to the shelf for sale. I've actually given away a ton of them.
Oh yeah.
I think you gave me 2 copies, maybe. You gave me a couple copies for Hellhound for my horror movie thing, Halloween thing. And people does this guy got anything else out? This is back when you didn't have anything else. I'm like, that's it. That's
Right.
all you got. And they're like, holy shit, that was great. And it's funny because I'm a big I love being from this area, and it's bad because I legitimately I have not moved far from where I grew up. Period. I've the first I moved away was I moved to Tip City. Literally, the house we're in right now is 2 blocks away from where I grew up. If you go like, I'm trying to remember where at because we're in the basement. If you go like this way, there's a field, and that was my junior high. You go that way, there was the elementary school I grew up in. I kind of come back, so I like being able to go, hey, this guy is from like 20 minutes away from my house. These guys, I know I'm proud of the fact that I worked on 2 movies that, that I know you guys, that I'm like, hey, you got to check this guy out. You got to see this, hey, these guys are having a premiere down in Dayton. I've sent people down to when you guys used to do the premieres down at Inglewood, which now I guess you guys are going to be able to start doing it again because I don't know who bought Inglewood.
I don't know who bought it, but it was about a year ago. They reopened.
Yeah.
They've done a couple screenings.
And I'm like, hey, I was like, you guys got to go down and go see this stuff. We used to do horror movie night like one Friday a month or Saturday a month. I would bust out my projector and and set it up, and we would show it in the shop. And I showed Hellhound one night. I showed Babysitter Massacre, and I'm trying to think. But I showed others, and then I showed some stuff from other local directors and stuff like that. And and I was like, holy shit, where was this filmed at? I was like, literally right down the road. I was like, I can legitimately show you the building we shot this scene in. Because it was funny because I had somebody a few years ago. I was at a comic book convention in Dayton, and this guy sitting there, and he's looking at me, and he goes, "Can I ask you a stupid question?" I went, "Yeah." He goes, "You in a movie?" I went, "Yeah." He goes, "Were you a bulldog for Christmas?" I went, "Yeah." I'm like, legit. I'm like, I'm a background guy. The fact that you saw me and then I stood out to you, and he goes, "Well, you are kind of." I'm like, I don't know what that means, but. And I'm sitting there like, and this guy was from like, not from the area. He was up here doing a comic book show, and I'm like, holy shit. He goes, yeah. He goes, I watched it on. He told me it was like on Amazon Prime or something like that. And I'm like, sweet. And then, I'm like, well, hey, this guy's got, and I wrote off, and I pulled it up on my phone, and I wrote off, like, here, go watch these movies. I was like, that's the guy that directed that movie. I was like, it's not a kid's movie like that one is. I was like, and here's some of the people. I was like, I wrote down like your stuff. I was like, at the time, I think I was Primordial and Hellhounds were the only 2 out. I was like, this is his movies. I was like, these are some of Hendrix movies. And I was like, that's the director. And I was like, this is the girl that's in the movie. I was like, this is some of her movies. And they're like, holy shit, okay, cool. And, and then still to this day, I have posters hanging up in my shop. And I've had these up in my shop since pretty much since I opened. They just went with me from one shop to the next. I have my the Babysitter mask, and then I have I can't remember because I got 2 posters in the same thing, and they're both signed by everybody pretty much. And everybody's like, "Was that signed?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That guy." And they're like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, and I've legitimately kept stuff behind the counter because like I said, I occasionally move, especially when a lot of Hendrix stuff went to Family Video. Because you just get the Family Video people who go in and buy all the movies dirt cheap when they were $1 a piece. They watch them and then they're like, all right, and then I end up buying them back off them. So when any time, legitimate, I think I'm down to only having outside the ones that I own. I think I have Calamity Jane, and I think I have a Ouija room still sitting at the shop. That like anybody who comes in who be like, yeah, he goes, man, is that they'll ask me about local movies, and I'm like, yeah, I was like, here, try this. I was like, he goes, they made a Western in Dayton? I was like, yeah. I was like, and it's got Al Snow in it, the wrestler. And it was funny because I ended up talking to Al Snow about that a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so we're at wrestling, and we were talking about it because we got on a conversation. He was just hanging out, and I got a conversation because he used to come rent movies from me when I was the assistant manager at Hollywood Video in Troy.
Oh, wow.
That was when he lived in Tip City. So he'd come up when he was off work, and we were sitting there I'm sitting there going, that looks like Al Snow. And I pull up his account, and I'm like, Al Severin, that's Al Snow. That is him. And then, and I was big into wrestling back then, and we talked, like I said, we were sitting there talked about that, and then we talked about, I was like, man, you worked for a buddy of mine. I was like, yeah, you did, he's like, you did a movie with for a buddy of mine. He's like, oh, I was like, who's that? And I was like, Henrik, you did the Western. He's like, oh yeah. And he's like, yeah. He goes, I tried to have my shit together when I showed up to film that. And I was like, I talked to Henrik. Henrik's like, he like laser focused on that. And I was like, wow. The fact that you get, a guy who probably, I don't know how long they had him for or whatever, but to come in and be like, I got my shit together.
From what I remember is I was on set that day when we worked with Al Snow. I believe it was one day for Calamity Jane's Revenge, and Al Snow actually shows up as kind of a cameo in Nothing Good Ever Happens. It's one of Henrik's indie drama comedies. Al Snow shows up, not as, I actually always kind of imagines as himself. It's actually as it's a different character. But anyway, Al Snow's in that briefly as well. And I believe, I wasn't on set for that day, but I believe they had him for a day when they did that scene too.
Now, is there anybody that you've worked with that you would just be like, yeah, I've wrote this for this person?
Yeah, when I made Primordial, that role was written for Mary Lee. If she wasn't available to do that movie, I'd probably just written something else. I actually had a backup movie in mind, and come to think of it, because she was in talks of moving to California, and I'm kind of a slow writer, so there's a good chance she might be in California before the script is finished. So I'll just do what I can, but then that fell through, so we ended up making that.
That's cool. I mean, now I know that you've worked with Henrik with some bigger name people. I don't know did you ever work with him? Whether you worked with anybody else, or have you ever do you have any horror stories about working with anybody that you were just like, oh my god, no names, you don't have to say names, you're just like, yeah, they were just, this person's miserable, I would never work with them again. They don't.
Yeah, I don't really have horror stories. So the closest, good thing I shouldn't name names. I can't remember the name of this person now. So this is when I was 18 in 2007. I was working on a movie that never got finished. And I'm still friends with some people from that set, because it was still a good set overall. I just thought the person in charge of the movie wasn't very well organized, and there was one night when he had me running camera and I accidentally hit stop before the end of the take, because it was 3 in the morning or whatever, and the direction wasn't really that clear, and rightfully he was upset about that, but he acted like it was an atrocity that happened, and I don't know, given that I wasn't the cinematographer for that, I was just a glorified extra that was told to hold the camera for that shot. I don't know, and I was also 18, and that was the main thing I thought was a little mishandled, but I don't really have horror stories. I'm pretty selective about who I choose to work with, honestly. I'll just say in general, I have an ego, because I think I'm really good, but, working on movies, you'll deal with egos even among friends, and, depending on the project and what's going on in their lives, their egos can be better or worse than other times, so that can be an obstacle no matter how big or small the production is with that. But no, know production-wise, like when I'm in charge of shoots, I try to keep things pretty easy going as much as possible. I mean, it is work, and trying to pretend that it's never going to be work is actually a really bad mindset when making a movie.
I get a lot of that because everybody's like, "Oh man, you work at a bookstore, comic store, or a magic shop." They're like, you must love it. It must be like easy." And I'm like, "It is work.
It is still work.
It's
Especially
work.
if you care.
Yeah, it's work I love to do, but there's still days where I always joke around because I used to always be like, I don't understand how people can have a job that they love and then just immediately like I'm done and walk away from it. That's like that's like we were talking about because Rick Moranis just came back.
And he got decked in the face.
And he got decked in the face. I'm like, what the hell?
That's so random and
extreme. But we were talking about how like big name actors could just be like, okay, I'm done, and walk away from it. Then I'm like, you know what? I love my job and I love what I do, but there's still days where I could just be like, I'm done. And then I look at working for somebody else and went, yeah, no, I'll go back and do this. You know, it's. Like I said, I'm doing this podcast because it's kind of cathartic. I get a lot of shit off my chest. I get to talk to people that I've wanted to talk to for a while. Like I've been wanting to like just have a conversation with you for a while, but logistically, it's like for what reason? You know, when you live all the way down south. I'm up here in Pequot, and you know, I think we have a pretty good. You know, we're not like friends, but I think we have a pretty good relationship going here, and you know, if you ever need anything, you ever need to shoot or anything, and you go, hey, I need a bookstore or a place that I can make it look like this, I'll be like, yeah, shit, okay, yeah, use it, I don't care. That's right. Yeah, you know, I have no problem with letting people use any of my, my store or whatever, and but, you know, being that, that this is your passion, that you love doing this and stuff like that, and, you know, is there, I don't know, we talked about the if you could do anything, what would you do? If you could work with like any like big name, no budget talent, who would you go for? Who would you like to see? Like even if it's like okay, we got it for one day.
Someone I've actually talked with her a little bit is Doro Pesch. For anyone who's not familiar, she's a female metal singer. Used to be in the band Warlock, and she's had a solo career since the early '90s. I've actually talked with her about trying to get her in just as like a cameo or a small role in a movie. She has not right now, but she does have an intense touring schedule, and that would be a little hard. And she lives in New York, but also is from Germany and does spend quite a bit of time in Europe, so it would be a bit challenging to arrange that. But that's someone who she doesn't regularly act and stuff, but I think she would be really good in a small role, especially. I'd like to work with her sometime. We have talked a little about it, just I've never arranged anything.
I was like, she was kick-ass. And it was wasn't they supposed to reunite Warlock this year or something like that before all this happened?
Yeah, so let's see, there's a guy named Tommy Bolin who was on the Triumph and Agony album. I mean, I think he regularly tours with Doro now. I believe they were supposed to do an actual reunion of the people who were in Warlock at that time.
Because I know it's like some copyright law why they can't use Warlock in it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because Universal, that's going back to it. I actually wanted to use Warlock songs in Primordial, but then I learned that they were owned by Universal. So even though in America they aren't really that remembered outside of the metal genre, they are still owned by Universal, so there's a lot of money talking there.
Makes almost certain all we are. I just listened to that the other day in the car coming home. Okay. You've worked with a lot of local, people. You've done 3 movies yourself. And you've been. How many movies have you acted in now?
I actually don't have the count. I'd have to go to my IMDb to look because there's a lot of stuff I've appeared in briefly and whatnot. So I actually don't even have a good count for that. Usually I play small side roles. If somebody had a good lead role that just fit. Because I mean, I am kind of, I don't want to say I'm one-dimensional, but there's a real specific fit that I have for a lead. So if somebody had a lead role that fit that image or whatever, I'd be cool with doing that.
Well, one of my favorite ones was I was at a horror movie convention years ago, and this guy said, and I'm like, "Can I help you?" He's like, "You been in a movie?" I've done some stuff, and he's like, "Want to be in a movie?" And I'm like, "Maybe." He goes, and this is back when I still had hair, and he's like, "Man, I can see you as like a cult leader." And he goes, "I'm doing this movie," and he was in Kentucky, northern Tennessee area, and they were shooting on the weekends and stuff like that. And I'm like, "Okay," and then I'm like, "I'll look into it, maybe," and then the logistics of it would have never worked out. I would have, because they basically shot from Friday to Sunday, because when they were off work, and I'm like, that's a 5-hour drive for me, so I would never make it on Friday.
Yeah.
And then I would have all day Saturday to shoot, and then I would have half a day Sunday, because I'd have to haul ass home 5 hours so I could be back asleep. And then I still had a wife and kids, and stuff like that, so it wasn't like I could be going all day.
So that is the joy of working in the no-budget world, is unlike in Hollywood, where a trip like that could make millions of dollars, in the no-budget world, that's something you've got to add in your regular work life. Because most filmmakers and actors also have other jobs they do in the no-budget world. I mean, it's not like showing up on set is what pays the bills; it's what you do in spite of having all that regular life stuff.
A slight hobby that you could do something with. Hell, it took me several years. I had a full 40-hour-a-week job and still ran my shop. Then I was able to go down to a 3-day-a-week job and then still run my shop. And then I became solely, completely autonomous and didn't have to work a full-time job and stuff like that. But it wasn't like something I could just do, And that's your editor.
Oh yeah, let's see, 22 editor credits. So 3 of those are my own movies. See, a lot of those are movies I've worked on with Henrik, because, so let's see, Haunted House and Sorority Row, that's the first movie I actually edited for him. He used to edit his own stuff before then, and then I started editing for him during 2014 and 2015 he made. Actually, in 2016 he put out a few movies too. So, let's see.
17 credits.
Okay, yeah. I was saying a lot of these I kind of forget. A lot of these I'm in for a few seconds, and usually while I'm also on sets, I kind of tend to forget. Oh, there's Church of the Eyes.
Dude, there you are.
Cool. Oh, I forgot what Fine Dan was. That's a short film that my friend in college, I think one day he came to my door and was like, "Hey, do you want to open a fridge?" I'm assuming that's what that is, because I actually have never seen
Never seen the movie?
A Good Day for Turkey. Oh, that's the one with the paper turkey. Okay, yeah, like those two. That's why I needed to look at my IMDb, is because I don't know what that I worked on in college has been added to IMDb. So.
Yeah, 17 producer credits.
Oh, cool.
He's like, I got a producer credits?
Okay, yeah, so a lot of those are the movies that Henrik put out. Yeah, a lot of times, because of all the work I do on set and with editing and stuff, I end up getting the
producer credit
for that.
Cinematographer, you got 8, you got 7 director?
Yeah, so 3 of those would be my features, and then before that I've got 4 short films. So let's see, Encircled the Pagan Moon is actually a music video, Fallen Swallows also a music video. The Lawyer is a short film I made when I lived in Philadelphia. That's actually one of the only things I've directed that I didn't write. And Black and Reveries, that's an alternate title for a final film project I did in 2009.
You got composer sketch, credits, animation department.
Oh, the animation department must be for Hellhounds, because I did some claymation for that, so that must be what that's from.
You get a special thanks and yourself and 2 credits.
Oh, cool. Documentary short. Oh, right. Film Speak, yeah, that's a show that was done at my workplace for a little bit.
Well, it's like, what was funny, because somebody goes, "You got an IMDb page." I'm like, "I got a what now?"
Yeah, there's an IMDb for Church of the Eyes, which those who don't know, Church of the Eyes is the movie Andy Kauf was working on during the last year of his life. I think he started in 2010.
I was gonna say, he worked on it forever.
It was kind of I came in 2012. I was only on set for one day.
Yeah, that was the day we met, yeah.
So, let's see. I know that Andy had edited. There's been talk here and there of, trying to finally finish editing it. That's really the reason it hasn't been.
I talked to Brassfield about a year ago, and he goes, I'll start working on it, and he goes, and then the depression will hit and stuff, and he goes, and I'll stop. One of the coolest things, though, is that when Andy used to do the showings at Inglewood, I stayed after one night to help him do a couple things, and I had some movies for him out in the car and whatnot that he was looking for. And he goes, "Come here, I'll show you something." And he goes, "Go sit down." And I go sit down, and it's basically our scene from Church of Eyes.
Oh, cool.
And it was funny. I was like, because it felt like forever, because I'm not an actor. I'm not really anything other than I'm a salesman, and but it was so cool. But for like it felt like forever, but it couldn't only have been for like 5 seconds. The only thing that was on the screen was my face, and it was where I do the thing, and he comes up behind me, and I look up, and I go to turn, and that's the whole scene. And he goes, "You did a good job." And he goes, "The fact that you just fell out of frame when I shoot you, like a body drop," and he goes, "You didn't stop, you just fell." Because he didn't bother, because most people fall to break, you just drop out of scene like a body would if they were shot. And he goes, "It's great." And he showed me that, and he showed a little bit of what he was working on. And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And it was one of them things where it's like, I kind of, I know I'd love to see it be finished because it'd be for Andy, but as part of my I want to see myself. Just that one scene, because literally, we're only in a couple scenes. I'm there, I get shot in the head, then you get pulled off, you fight with him, and then our scene's done.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was showing some edited stuff, like I said, he's showing that where we were attacking Nikki, and then I go to turn, and then I drop out of frame, and then the movie continued a little bit further. But it was like, I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I expected, maybe to be different, but the fact that for 10 seconds, maybe, I know it's only 10 seconds, but it's like, that's all you see. It's just me. And I was like, part of me was like, hell yeah! And the other part of me is like, oh yeah, it's
That's cool.
my whopping Church of Eyes and All for Christmas. And then I'm the comic book guy. Because that's what everybody knows me as. I'm either the video game guy or the comic book guy. I used to be the video store guy. Because I was the assistant manager at Hollywood Video for what felt like forever, but I wasn't forever. But everybody goes, "Hey, you worked at the video store." Like, yeah. And it's it's one of the ones where if somebody asked me, I would be in a movie, but I don't actively go out because I don't know, no one needs an old man in a movie. So, like I said, I got one person who brought me in who wanted me to play the "Don't go in the woods" or "Don't go out there. You're gonna die out there." And I was like, that's what the part I wanted to play now, and it kind of fell through. Now we're at where we're at now. So now I could say that because I'm back to working out and stuff like that. Now I could just go for the Stephen Lang roles. Be the grumpy old Jack Brand. Even though I'm not getting jacked yet, but that's so weird. I know it's bad because I'm going to go on it. Stephen Lang, I never paid attention up until like 2 or 3 years ago that he was Curly Bill in Tombstone.
Oh, really?
He's the cowardly guy who keeps running away from Wyatt Earp through the entire movie. And I was like, that's Stephen Lang, the guy who plays the Marine guy in.
Oh, Stephen Lang. I was trying to figure out who that is. Is he the one?
He's in Don't Breathe. He's
yeah,
in Avatar.
so he's also in Manhunter, which is technically the first Hannibal Lecter movie. He's that smarmy journalist guy who gets captured by Francis Dollarhide. It's the original version of that whole "you owe me" scene where he shows him the slides on the board. Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I don't know where you stand on this. Manhunter is it's of course it's Silence of the Lambs, then Manhunter.
As far as the best Hannibal movies, oh, absolutely, yeah.
I remember
people like Manhunter better than Silence of the Lambs. I mean, Silence of the Lambs has too much of a place in my heart for me to go that way, but yeah, Manhunter is awesome and is it's easily the second best Hannibal movie. I like how different they are because Silence of the Lambs is not a sequel to Manhunter. Manhunter's really its own thing.
Yeah, and it was funny because I saw Manhunter. That came out a year or two before.
86 is when it was released in theaters, but I think a little after that is when it got. I wasn't born yet. But my understanding I have is that when it came out on VHS is when it did a little better through rentals.
I'm a big. There it is.
Okay, yes, he was in Don't Breathe and Avatar. That thing is such a huge difference between. Yeah, I remember when I saw Manhunter in theaters, I'm like, who is that guy? And then I saw he was in Manhunter. I'm like, who did he play? And I found out he's that smarmy journalist guy. I was like, what, that guy, really?
Well, it's like I always liked Wim Peterson. I loved his run on CSI, but I liked him as before all that hit, and I loved him in Manhunter when he's in what is he in Live and Die in LA, and the Dad in Fear, and I was like, man, damn, it's like he's one of the ones where you're like, oh shit, that's him.
He's done a lot of stuff. It's easy for him to slip through the cracks, but he's also stuff.
And I love the tribute that they did to Manhunter in the episodes of CSI when they bring back Noonan as the killer.
Noonan's such a great actor. So what I've heard, I've never met him, but what I hear is that anybody who's worked with him say he's in character during the whole duration of the production. So when people ask what's it like working with Tom Noonan, the answer is always, well, what was he like in the movie?
Yeah. What's funny is that I have a friend who works in acquisitions, and I have to ask him questions about actors and stuff like that. I'm like, is he cool? I was like, if he's not cool, don't tell me. And I was like, because Kurt Russell was because he's the guy who got Bone Tomahawk for RTL. And I was like, please tell me he's cool. I was like, I don't think I don't have it in my heart for Kurt Russell to be an asshole. And he goes, no, dude, he's one of the coolest guys I've ever met.
If he was an asshole, better be like a funny,
just
an absolute fuck you type.
And I asked him about Nick Cage. Nick Cage is just fucking weird. and the thing is, though,
I've heard he's nice. Actually, one of my college friends worked on the set of that movie, Mom and Dad, I think it was. And
I heard he's nice. He's just weird.
Oh yeah, weird's fine as long as they're not toxic or anything.
But then I hear people then there's a couple of actors that I won't say who they are, but they're pretty big name actors, and I was like, how's this guy? He's like, yeah, he's kind of a douche. He's an asshole. I'm like, the other one is that I had I like Joe Lynch. Did Mayhem. He did Nice and Badass. He did Wrong Turn 2, the director. And I was like, I like him. And then he did Holliston one.
Oh, I've watched Holliston.
Yeah. And I was like, man, is he cool? He's like, oh yeah, he's really cool. And then I was like, another one I gotta know. Like, you met Joe Bob Briggs, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, is Joe Bob cool? He's like, yeah, Joe Bob's one of the coolest guys ever. I'm like, thank you. I was like, now there's like 3 actors, and if I find out they're dicks, it's gonna kill me.
So speaking of Holliston, I actually met Adam Green at a screening of, it was the Hatchet movie that came out a few years ago.
Victor Crowley?
Victor Crowley.
Yeah.
So they did a screening of Victor Crowley at the Nightmares Film Festival in Columbus in 2017, so I went over to see that. They were showing Primordial that weekend, so I had a pass to see whatever I wanted. And yeah, the Marina's in attendance for Victor Crowley. Said he did a Q&A at the end. I actually caught him when he was walking out the door, told him how much I like Holliston and how much I liked his movie Frozen. And because he said that the movie called Frozen that he made before Disney took his title.
Yeah.
He said that that was one of his favorite movies, and I think he kind of thinks of it as kind of like the unsung hero because it's not part of the
because he's done the action franchise, and that's what everybody kind of really knows him for. But yeah, Frozen's great. Frozen is
sort of tense.
Yeah, that's for being for those who don't know, Frozen is people trapped on a ski lift, and they're not like they're way up. They're not like like I can just drop down and I'll be fine. And it's people go, oh that's bullshit. You can't get trapped on a ski lift. Well, the thing is you don't realize how much a lift ticket is. So if you can sneak onto one and get a lift ticket up and go and ski, it saves you some money. And that's the whole premise of the movie is no one knows these people are on the ski lift, and then it stops and they're stuck, and then shit ensues. But I like that one. I also like the one that I think he just produced it. I like Grace.
Grace, I haven't seen that.
That's the woman gives stillborn baby. She basically feeds it, and it comes back to life only to find out it needs blood. As a matter of fact, I got it around here somewhere. I say that there's stacks of fucking movies everywhere. I'm horrible with that. Like I said, it's a really good movie. If you ever get a chance, go watch both Grace and Frozen. But one of the coolest ones I've met when he first came to America. I was at Dragon Con one year, and they gave advanced tickets so you could go see a movie. You could be an advanced screening of big blockbuster movies, and I got to see that weekend. It was Rumble in the Bronx, and the second one was Mimic. And Guillermo del Toro was there.
Oh wow!
And the screening, man, there's only like 20 people in the screening. And you're like, now, if you were to bring Guillermo del Toro in, it would be a packed house. But no one knew who he was, because literally what he'd done, Kronos.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and we're talking, and you could tell he hated the cut of Mimic that they were showing, because he was just like, no. He was like, looking at it through the entire thing. We have all these Q&As, and you can almost see the venom of how much he did not like that cut of the movie. He's like, no, studio did that. And they're like, that's not my opening. And you can tell he's like, Dad, I was proud of that. And like I said, it was early. You're down there and it's legitimate. They brought him in. He wasn't even at the convention. He was brought in for that screening to do the Q&A after. And I think he did Q&As maybe the whole weekend because that's the only showing I went to of that one. And because I think Dimension Films was down there pushing several of their movies. Because after that, it was funny part is War was down there. And I became pretty good acquaintances with the guys from War because they did the comic book circuit too.
Oh, cool.
So I was hanging out with them and I was bullshitting with them and I became like, hey, it's, come on, man, come here, gotta hang out, And we were at DragonCon and they were performing that night, and I'm like, I'm going to this first, and they're like, you're gonna come see us. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come, but they're like, I'm like, I'll probably be towards the back because there's no way I can get up front. And they're like, no, you come here, you tell this guy, he'll wait for you, he'll bring you up front. And I'm like, okay. So I went there, showed up front I went, there I went, I stood there, and it was a minor set because they couldn't get to do all of the stage show because you're literally in a hotel. So they're not going to let you use the crapapult or the. So they did like I think like 5 or 6 songs. They were pushing their own comic at the time. And the funny part about it is, who opened up for them? A band I'd never heard of before that day. The Bloodhound Gang.
Oh really?
That was I was like, who the fuck's the Bloodhound Gang? And that's where I'm at now because I'm getting older. So now all these bands that I got to see open up for people are now become huge bands. And it's like, oh my God, I saw them open up for,
speaking of more, I saw that in 2005. As far as I know, it was their full set. It was awesome.
I've seen them like 5 times over the years, and I got to see them when I was still living with my mom. And I wore a white T-shirt for the reason to get all this stuff over so I can have my war shirt.
Cool.
My mom found it, washed it, got all the blood stains out of it. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then I went to one, and it was we go there, and it was literally I went and seen 3 shows in 5 days. I want to say it was Megadeth, Slayer, and War in 5 days.
Cool.
And I had to work Saturday morning, and War was like Friday night. And I can't remember exactly which one was which, but I remember being those 3 bands. I go in on Saturday and I can't hear anything. Literally, I hear, and people are like on it. And I'm like, all right. Literally, I had to work half a day because I couldn't hear anything. And that's another thing I'm getting scared about because we went to a show a couple years ago. My wife and I went and seen OTEP and went to the show, and I forgot the stuff I wanted to get signed out in the car, so I ran out to the van, and I'm rummaging in the van, and I'm like, and I can't hear anything. No ringing, no nothing. It's dead quiet. I'm like, and I start having a panic attack. My heart starts pounding. I'm like, oh God, that's it. That's the last show I'm ever going to hear. I was like, that's finally it. That's what finally. Years of concerts, working in factories, everything. That's going to be what finally blows my eardrums out. And as I walked back to the, what it was, iBodies, I don't know, where was it, still McGuffey's. But we were walking back, and I start hearing the little pop and the cracks, and I start hearing like that. And I'm like, and I was like, I can't hear anything! And then when I go to a show like a week later, and fucking my hearing it again. Because I'm old, and I hate wearing earplugs. Alright. I don't want to have you here all day. I'm sorry, get you here. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to tell people about upcoming that you're working on?
So, I mean, like I said, I don't have anything upcoming, but I do want more people. I feel like when I put Ragmark out, like it kind of came and didn't really reach the audience that Hellhounds and Primordial did. So I just want to remind everybody listening that if you haven't caught up with me in a little bit, I do a new movie out, newish, called Ragmark. So right now, it's available on Vimeo to rent internationally. It's also available to purchase on Blu-ray through my website, and it's whitingfilms.storeenvy.com. I have a Facebook page for the movie as well, so you can write to me there and I'll respond to you. I'm trying to get it out onto, I'd like to see it on Tubi. I'm putting it into Film Hub, and they'll put it wherever it'll go.
Yeah. And just going to shout out to Jason and Lucian.
Yeah, Lucian's in the movie.
Yeah, Lucian's in the movie, and Jason, did he do anything with that movie?
I mean, I'm sure he did special thanks.
Special thanks, yeah.
Record with his kid, because I don't know too many child actors, and I was working with Lucian over the summer when I was working on a short film that Jason was making, so that's where I got the idea of having Lucian play the...
Jason's one of the ones who keeps telling me I need to get my scripts and actually shoot, because he said he would throw some money at me.
Oh, nice.
Like, make me feel bad. Now he's like, here, you want to make it? I'll throw money at you. I'm like, I don't know if I have that, because it's one of the things. I don't know if do you ever get like, it's not good enough. That's where I'm at, because I'm always afraid that, and I joked around with somebody else, and I told him, I was like, I was supposed to shoot this year, this summer, and then quarantine hit, and then COVID hit, and it put everything on hold, and so I'm hoping to shoot next year. But I told him, I was like, if I want to fuck it up, I don't want it to be because of quarantine, I don't want it to be fucked up because of everybody being sick. I wouldn't be fucked up because I'm an inept writer and director and have shitty actors. Although I can't say that because I got a couple people who are actually pretty decent actors who said they'd be in the movie, so I can't say shitty actors. I just want it's because it's my ineptitude that the movie sucks. All right, I thank you for showing up. We'll get you back on again or something. We'll talk music or something like that. Won't even have anything to do with movies and
sure movies will show up.
Sure, yeah, movies will always show up.
That is my obsession.
Okay. I gotta put this past you before we sign out.
Sure.
Somebody asked me this. Now I gotta ask everybody this because I think this is the most loaded question ever. Favorite John Carpenter movie?
It's either Halloween or The Thing, although They Live has shown up in my mind too. But one of those two, I may have to go with. God, that's a tough one. Because Halloween and The Thing are so different. They both fit. They both fit perfectly for what I'm in the mood for them.
Oh yeah, well it's like somebody goes, "What's your favorite John Carpenter movie?" I was like, "Well, it's okay, horror movie. It's Halloween. Cosmic horror movie. It's The Thing. Action movie. It's Escape from New York." And I was like, I don't know what to classify They Live as. But yeah, there was because I was like, oh shit, man, it's like asking me which one's my favorite kid. I was like, and it's funny because I'm a apologist because I don't think John Carpenter's done a bad movie. And people give shit to those last few, The Ward. People give shit to Vampires. And
I still need to see Vampires, actually.
You've never seen Vampires? Oh my god,
I need to see that one.
It's got
It's got James Woods.
James Woods just camps it up so fast, but I don't think he's done a bad movie ever, and people give me shit because I like his bad movies, and you know there are people who hit that what do you call it, the bubble where you can tell when their last good movie was, and then everything after that's been kind of.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid of hitting that bubble. That's why I'm so selective about when I choose to make movies. I don't want it to be like I've made 20 other movies after Ragnarok, and everyone's like, no, nothing after Ragnarok's worth watching. You just check out Primordial and Ragnarok and call it a day.
Yeah.
Rather than if those are the only movies I make, it's like, oh yeah, you made these 3 movies.
And they're good. There we go. So, all right. Well, that's all we're gonna do today, and I painfully make him sit here for an hour and almost 50 minutes, not including setup time. I appreciate you showing up. I really do. It's always good talking to you. I mean, I think every time we talk, we bullshit about everything, even though I don't get to talk to you too much. I still want to get you up to shop sometime, and if you have some physical copies of your movies and stuff like that, maybe we can get you up there and you can sign stuff. And I was hoping to do a Halloween horror thing this year, but that does not look like that's going to happen because we're in a tight space and whatnot. But I do appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot, and thank you for showing up. And
it's been fun.
Yeah, and that is. I gotta find and that's the end.